Today on Hello Nintendo, we talk about how the Switch is going as strong as ever, while Nintendo is also releasing their games on other devices. We also talk about the tantalizing possibility of a Nintendo Direct next year. All that and more on Hello Nintendo. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today. I'm your host Matt, aka Traynass. Joining me again today is the Scottish Lion, aka Alex. How's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. It's a couple days before Christmas, so I'm quite happy. I don't have to work for a few days. We also have joining us not one, but two special guests. First up, we have Logan, aka Captain Logan. How's it going?
I'm doing good. Saturday morning. I got coffee and a Red Bull, so I think I'm ready.
Coffee and a Red Bull. You must love your caffeine.
Wait, this has caffeine in it?
Better not be decaf coffee. That's just hot brown water.
No, it's full coffee. Well, it's mostly cream, but yeah, lots of coffee.
Excellent. And we also have joining us Jasmine. And Jasmine I know through doing the audio dramas. She's the host, she started off Fanfic Radio, and that's where I met Jasmine. Thanks for joining us today on the podcast.
No, thanks for having me.
All right, so it's been a while since we've actually had a couple of new guests on the podcast. So we're going to do a little get to know you with Jay and Captain Logan. Let's do the ladies first. So
Thank you.
Jay?
Oh.
so you can see. So Jay, I mentioned earlier that you started off Fanfic Radio. Can you kind of give us as N64 Josh puts it, the elevator pitch of what Fanfic Radio is?
Well, Fanfic Radio is a YouTube channel mainly that is about your favorite fandoms. So if you're working out or if you're commuting, instead of listening to an audiobook about characters you don't know, you can listen to audio dramas that are actually featuring characters you already know and love.
Nice.
Yeah.
And how long has it been going on?
So it's the first audio drama went out last January, so we're almost a year now. But the actual recruiting and Fanfic Radio started showing up on the internet like in October. It took us a long time to get the first audio drama out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how many have we done so far?
Oh, let's see. I want to say 7 or 8. There were a few that got cut short when we realized that the story never finished.
That's always good.
Yeah. But I mean, like in the beginning it was only like 1 or 2 at a time. Now we have like a lot more going on at the same time. So it's going to be an interesting year.
Nice. And we've got a big project coming up that should be releasing any day now. Actually, it'll probably be out by the time this podcast releases.
Oh, yeah. So we decided, and Traynass already knows about it, we decided to do a Christmas Carols parody with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters. So that's probably going to be releasing on Christmas Day, and we're going to put an episode out every day from Monday to Friday. It should be fun, and it's pretty hilarious, so...
I'm looking forward to hearing the final cut. I know I've heard the first episode because I edited that one, but I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of them. So, because just reading the script was a lot of fun.
Should be fun.
Jay, what was your very first game system? What was your first console?
So actually, I remember playing the Atari. I don't remember many of the games on it, but I remember playing it. And then I played SNES. But the first system that I really remember was PlayStation 1. So, yeah, all through that time I was playing also on PC.
So you didn't quite miss the dawn of gaming, but you missed a good chunk of it with the NES, and you mentioned you played a little bit of Super NES. So, but have you gone back and actually been able to play those previous generation games?
Yeah, actually, so I'm actually leading a group here in Washington that basically goes back and tries to basically remind people of those games. I never actually played them, so they're the first time for me playing them for when it comes to a lot of games. But to be honest, they're a lot of fun. I'm kind of sad I didn't play them at their peak. But
That's okay. At least you get to enjoy them now.
Yeah, better late than never.
That's true. All right, Captain Logan, we're gonna get to know you now. What is with the username? How did you like? I know your name's Logan.
Yes.
So tell us the origin.
The captain is, I really wish I had a good story for this. I really don't. The captain was mostly as a result of a love for pirates, and that really kind of hit home when they kind of turned the Pirates of the Caribbean ride from Disneyland into a film, and we learned about Johnny Depp being a pirate, and then ever since then, I've just kind of had Captain tacked onto the front of my name for no good reason. So I'll captain just about anything, whether it's my stream, a ship, a trip to the drive-thru, anything. We'll go there.
Nice.
We'll go there together.
You must be pretty excited for Sea of Thieves.
I am. I kind of want to see more about what the point of it is, other than just shooting yourself around from cannons. I mean, there's nothing wrong with shooting yourself from cannons. I just would like to know kind of what the point of it all is.
Well, check out the most recent episode of the Xbox Party Chat podcast, because they actually had a couple rare people on there, and it's all Sea of Thieves. They talk a lot of Sea of Thieves, so that might actually fill in some of the questions you have about the game.
That's good. Yeah. Next step is getting an Xbox.
Yes. Yeah. So you mentioned that you stream. Is there anything else that you do, or have like any other online presence, or is it just do you just kind of stream?
Well, I troll a lot of Twitch streamers as well. So anytime I can get in there and chat them up, I like doing that. But no, I actually I also guest host on another podcast that is specifically about Nintendo, and that's the Nintendo Powercast, which if you're new to podcasts and you love Nintendo and you just started searching for the new Nintendo Power podcast by the actual Nintendo, you probably saw N64 Josh's show up there pretty high on the charts. So I go on there.
I was going to say, I think it's ranked number 2 now, isn't it, next to Nintendo's?
It sure is, and for good reason. We do an awesome show. I go on his show basically whenever he doesn't have a content creator to spotlight. I like to help fill in the gap so that it's a little bit easier for him to do the show. And I mostly come in when I want to talk about something interesting. So if there's a game that came out or some news that broke and I've got an opinion about it, he lets me come on and kind of share that opinion until something else happens and he gets a content creator. So you can always look us up on Nintendo Powercast on your Stitcher, Google Play, or iTunes and stuff. But other than that, yeah, mostly just streaming right now.
Nice. Well, let's kind of get into what we've been playing. Alex, it's your turn to gab, because we've kind of been ignoring you for a little bit there.
That's all right.
So
need to get to know our new guest.
Yeah. So Alex, what have you been playing the past little while?
So I'm actually at my parents' house for Christmas right now, and that means a lot of Mario Party. Mario Party 4 and 5,
Excellent.
Definitely the best two. Been playing a lot of those, and then I tried to boot up an old computer to run Command & Conquer campaign with my dad last night.
Nice.
It didn't work so well, so we just ended up playing an old game. NFL head coach. We're both big football fans. We both like strategy games. Just a little bit more of the multiplayer strategy games, anything that I can get my parents involved with. So, and they'll probably listen to this, so hello to them.
Right on. Well, there's actually a Command & Conquer. If it wasn't able to play, depending on what it was, there's actually... I'll have to find it and send you the link later, but somebody's taken CNC, Red Alert, and not Dune, and kind of made them like a free-to-play type of deal. You get the full game. They've updated them and everything. It's got online the whole bit. It runs on most everything. So I'll send you guys the links for that later, and if anyone's interested, I'll actually throw it into Reddit, because if you love the Command and Conquer games, it's definitely worth checking out. Jay, what games have you been playing recently?
Well, Final Fantasy 15 is pretty much a staple for me, but to be honest, I just discovered Trauma Center Second Opinion.
Oh yeah.
And I've been very, very horrible at it. I pretty much kill all of my patients at least like 6 times, 7 times. But it's been a lot of fun. So I don't know why I haven't played it till now. So
that's a game that I would love to see come back. Is Trauma Center?
It does, yeah. I'm not sure why Atlas is totally ignoring it. To be honest, it's very different from all of their other games, but it's also very unique. I don't think there's anything like it right now, so
no.
I really wish they'd bring it back.
Because there were 2 versions on the Wii, and I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong. There's 2 versions on the Wii, and I think there were 2 versions on the DS, and it started on the DS.
Yeah,
so.
And I think at least one of the ones on the Wii is actually a remake of the one on the DS. I'm just not sure which one is which.
I want to say it's the first one. I want to say it's Second Opinion is the remake of the first Trauma Center on the DS.
That's probably true.
I only got so far into it, and if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you know my disdain for motion controls, and it's the fact that the motion controls is, oh yeah.
Oh my, there's some contention in the room now. I won't get into it, but really?
Yeah. So, but I'd love to see it come back. Maybe with the fact that the Switch's motion controls are greatly improved, could see it come back. But
okay.
Cool. Captain Logan, what about you? What have you been playing?
I've been playing a lot, actually. So aside from some of the staples, like when I'm streaming Mario Kart, Zelda, I've actually been picking up some of the there are 72 games on sale right now. I don't know if anyone knows this.
Oh my goodness.
There are 72 games. I counted them last night, anywhere from 10 to 50% off. So I picked up The Mummy Demastered, SteamWorld Dig 2, Yooka-Laylee. I just grabbed Blossom Tales this morning to stream later today. Or the Saturday the 23rd. And Pinball FX. The DLC came out for Zelda. I've been trying to get a little bit more through Skyrim, but I'm really bad at it, so that hasn't been helping. And I gave Lego City Undercover another shot because I bought it a long time ago and I didn't do much in it, and it's just not getting any hooks in me, so I might have to trade that in. But yeah, I've been trying to play a little bit of everything. I always play Heroes of the Storm because that's just a really awesome game.
Yeah.
And then I went through and played Doki Doki Literature Club, which is a free game on Steam that it presents itself as a dating sim, like a Japanese dating sim.
Yeah.
It is all of that and more for the first hour, and then it gets really weird. So if you like scary games that are heavily steeped in Japanese culture, that's a good one to pick up. SteamWorld Dig obviously is a great game. It's a great Metroid game. I love that. And Mummy Demastered is a very good Metroid style game that I don't know how this game came out, that the movie did so poorly, but this game is amazing. It is unforgiving. When you die, you have to go back and kill your zombie self. So that's just ridiculous.
That reminds me of Zombie U, where same idea, where if you die in Zombie U, depending on how you die, you can refine yourself, and you've kind of got to kill yourself, or you can loot your dead body and stuff like that. If you're playing where you respawn.
Yeah, and you are not an easy foe. You're like a mid boss. But yeah, and Pinball FX3 is really fun. The detours that they take with the tables or the boards, however you want to call them, is really fun to see some of the properties. I'm loving the Portal pinball table and the Walking Dead one right now, and I haven't bit the bullet on any of the other ones, but I probably will eventually.
Nice. I love pinball, so I may have to check out that pinball game.
It's good. It feels really good, and they actually did the portrait mode for undocked, so you can actually play pinball.
I saw a picture. I saw somebody had a picture out like that, and they're saying it's one of the best ones that goes in portrait mode.
Yeah, it feels good.
Nice. Well, I've been playing Worms WMD, which is an awesome game if you love the Worms franchise. It translates very well to the Switch. And I also just redeemed my backer code for Yooka-Laylee. And it's made up by former Rare people. If you've ever played the Banjo-Kazooie games on the N64, this is a beautiful spiritual successor to the Banjo-Kazooie games. Like everything from how the characters just kind of mumble. If you know Charlie Brown, whenever the adults talk, same idea. Like even the music, the environments, everything. It feels like it's a game set in the Banjo-Kazooie universe. So it's pretty good. It's got some issues with it. I know Logan, you and I have had a few talks about that. But for all its faults, I'm enjoying it. I'm actually exploring a lot more than I thought I would. When I was watching your stream the other day, Logan, I saw that you and I were on the same level, but you've already finished the boss. I'm still kind of poking around there.
Was that the actual boss? Because I kept thinking it was like a mid-level boss, and then I never quite found like the end boss.
To be honest, it seemed like an end boss to me. Kind of the way that battle went and the lines and everything, but it could be a mid-level boss. I'm not sure. So, but yeah, I've been playing that, and I played PUBG for a couple hours and then uninstalled it. I don't think I'll be going back to PUBG. I do not like that. The only reason why I played it is because I was on the Xbox Ambassadors Mixer stream last Wednesday. So that's the only reason why I got it and why I played it. I doubt I'll ever go back to it again. It'll be like Command & Conquer 4. I'll forget I ever owned that game. Horrible way to end that franchise with CNC4.
I'm glad I never got into that. I love the CNC series, but I never picked up 4. I'm kind of glad now.
There's a video on YouTube, and it's kind of talking about the history of Command & Conquer and Westwood Studios. It's actually really good. It's only about a half hour long, and I'll send you the link later. It's really well done. It kind of makes you feel sad, especially for the developers in the studio and everything, and how EA screwed everything up and screwed them over. But
oh, so this has been a thing that's been going on for a long time with EA. That's good to know.
Oh yeah, EA. Yeah, EA. Yes. So.
Hello, Nintendo!
Well, let's get into our news topics. So our first topic that we've got today is Nintendo Switch sales. They have sold, not just shipped, they've sold 10 million units. So in 9 months, the Switch has sold 10 million units. Does anybody have any numbers of how many Wii U's were sold in its lifetime?
13.8, I think.
13.8, and the Wii U was out for what? 4 years?
5 years.
5 years, so 13.
4 years.
Okay, so 13.8 million units in, let's just say 5 years. And the Switch has sold almost that much in 9 months. If that doesn't show that Nintendo's hit a home run with their system, I don't know what else does. They've shipped even more because you can now find them quite readily available in stores, but we'll see how that goes around Christmas time. Just in the last week, the Switch sold 230,000 units in Japan alone, which is pretty awesome. It doesn't feel like that Switch hype train is ever slowing down, and I think it's only going to get bigger as 2018 progresses. Currently, it's kind of looking like the Switch sales are going to surpass Wii U by March, maybe sooner, depending on how much this kind of speeds up. And yeah, so what do you guys think this means for the future of the Nintendo Switch? Alex, let's start with you. What do you think?
This is a really big. So last time I was on the podcast, we were talking about the Switch sale numbers, and I said that it's going to beat the Wii U in August. Yeah, I was way off on that because it's going to be only 1 year. And I just did a quick search here. The Xbox One, because, we could say that this is a home run for Nintendo, but is it just catching up to the other people in the market, or is it just Nintendo revitalizing them own but still being behind the market? The Xbox One has sold 33 million units since launching in November 2013, and I don't think that the Wii, and that was June of this year. I don't think that the Nintendo is going to be able to catch up to the popularity of either the Xbox One or PS4, but that's an average of 8.25 million units per year. So if you take, that's, about 10 million units in a year. In 4 years, when Nintendo 2021 is probably cycling to its next console, we could be looking at sale numbers around 30 million, which would put Nintendo right back with competition, with mainstream competition. So this is fantastic news for Nintendo and its product line.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Sony's already taken notice. There's rumors that Sony's going to try and have some sort of competitor. So I think even just this 10 million units in this short amount of time has made at least Sony. Microsoft, I don't think, has ever really competed too much with Nintendo. Sony always seems to be their biggest rival. They kind of took the gauntlet from Sega. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of comes up from this. Jay, what about you? What do you think of Nintendo's success so far with the Switch?
The moment you start seeing Doom on Switch, it kind of shows how much the industry is finally recognizing Nintendo is back in the game.
Yeah.
Personally, I have a 3DS. I never really play it. I have a Wii U. I still play it, but I've always wanted to do something in between. So as soon as Switch was announced, it was pretty much a no-brainer for me. I personally actually am waiting for just as soon as they have one Pokemon RPG on it and Ace Attorney on it, it's pretty much gonna be the only console I'm playing. So, not surprised.
No. Yeah, the fact that, developers have really taken notice, because we've got Doom, L.A. Noire, Wolfenstein 2, Skyrim, 4 pretty big titles that are coming to Switch. Rocket League is on Switch, and I think the developer of Overwatch was even looking at seeing if it's possible to run Overwatch on the Switch. GTA, there's been I've heard rumors that GTA could be coming to the Switch. This is looking good for Nintendo. Logan, what about you? What are your thoughts?
I think it's great. I think it's right in line with what they're anticipating. It's on track with the PlayStation 4 in its first year, so that's really nice. I'm really interested in seeing what is coming during 2018, because we have a lot of great potentials, and there's still some amazing games that are on the Wii U that could be ported over to give an audience that hasn't played those games a chance to play them. Plus some unknowns from studios that we're still waiting to hear word from, that we'll probably find out during E3 what they've been working on for so long. So with a year behind them, I think that Nintendo is poised to outpace Microsoft, especially based on the titles that Xbox has announced and how they have limited exclusivity with some of their titles. I think eventually those games will come to PlayStation and hopefully the Switch as well. Bethesda's backing them, Capcom's starting to back them. The only major publishers that haven't tried to do anything yet is EA, Blizzard, and I think Activision. So I think as soon as we get some of them on board with their games, good games, not the ports that we've been getting, especially with EA, I think we're going to see a new age of Nintendo. I came back to it after skipping the Wii and Wii U. So the fact that, and I'm still seeing Switches on the shelf too. They're not sold out. People are still able to get them even today. So I think that's going to be great. I think that Nintendo is going to see a big sales numbers for the holiday season and even afterwards. I'm just looking forward to what they're going to announce that's going to keep those sales driving all the way into the first and second quarters of 2018.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually kind of glad that Capcom is actually going to be supporting the Switch as well, because the more developers the better. And the way Street Fighter, when Street Fighter 2 got released, I forget, we talked about this, I forget how many versions of Street Fighter 2 there are now. It's got to be it's got to be the one game that has got like the most different versions of the same game across countless platforms. It's ridiculous. But you know, people were saying that Capcom was using Street Fighter 2 to test the waters for the Switch. They must be quite happy with that because yeah, we've got new titles that are coming out as well. So yeah, I'm really excited. I know that I think Nintendo is putting a lot of faith into the Switch, and it shows that they're really backing it. Even just the commercial wise alone, they've done a lot more advertising for the Switch than they did with the Wii U, and you know, it shows. And then personally, I think it's almost it's almost the best platform because it's on the go and at home. You don't have to worry about you know, having multiple copies of one game and your saves don't sync like what if you had like a Wii U and a 3DS version. It's the one thing. It's a great platform. I really like it. In fact, I think I'm almost playing it more than my Xbox One, and I'm definitely playing it more than my Wii U. My Wii U is pretty much turned into my kid's system now, and they play it.
Well, this system is kind of proving that real gamers are willing to sacrifice fidelity for the sake of convenience.
Mm-hmm. And they've done it perfectly. They've done it so well, too. I think they've done it quite well. I know my fanboy is starting to show a little bit because I'm just praising it, but for all its faults, I think they've done a good job. So I'm looking forward to E3 2018. I'm really looking forward to that.
Can I throw a question to Captain Logan real quick?
Yes.
So, what if you skipped the Wii and Wii U? I'm just curious, what was the one element, or was there a certain game that made you come back to Nintendo for the Switch, or was it just the hype overall?
It was everything that I saw leading up to the rumors about what the NX was going to be, and the fact that they announced that the newest Zelda game was going to be released on the new console. I had no intention of getting a Wii U, but when I found out that they had been working on the new Zelda game, I missed Skyward Sword because of the concept for gameplay, and I wasn't interested in motion controls for that. I know it sounds hypocritical to talk about to bash motion controls now, but after playing the Switch, I really do like the motion controls. I think they're great, but and it kind of makes me want to go back to Skyward Sword. But hearing about Zelda, hearing about it's going to be on a new system, I thought, why not start fresh with something that sounds like it's going to be home and portable? And as long as it plays the new Zelda game, that's the thing that's going to drive me to it. I was mostly just trying to get away from the idea that there is a system that uses a tablet as a home console interface. Like, it sounded very gimmicky to me. The motion controls had no draw. You know, I was interested in having like a traditional sit-down system. And you know, I've been playing console games and PC games for most of my life. So when they come out with a Zelda, it doesn't matter, you know, what it is. I'm going to be really interested in it. I just was able to hold off during the Wii U time.
Well, if Zelda's a big draw for you, Wii U didn't really have an original Zelda title until Breath of the Wild, because Twilight Princess and Wind Waker were both just HD remakes. So I can kind of see why.
Yeah, and I played the proper version of Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, so I was very content to hold off.
I love Zelda games. I skipped Wind Waker on the GameCube. I was one of those people that said, you know, the whole cell shading. Yeah, I know. You're shaking your head at me.
Zelda. It's not my Zelda.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed it, the HD remaster on the Wii U, and wish I had got to play it originally. And Twilight Princess I played on the Wii, but I'm enjoying it much better with a standard controller, especially after I think my save game got deleted for the second time on the Wii. I was like, you know what, forget this. I'm going to start again from scratch on the Wii U version, and been much happier. So it'll be interesting to see what they do for the next Zelda game. I mean, Breath of the Wild has set the bar pretty high.
Hello, Nintendo!
Our next topic, and so this is one that I'm kind of eating a little crow about because I've always said that at no point will Nintendo release games on other platforms. I don't consider mobile phones being like a console or anything like that. I've always told people that if you want to play a Nintendo game, buy a Nintendo system, and Nintendo is making me into a bit of a fool. There's a few Wii games that are actually coming to the nVidia Shield. Now, this is only going to be available in China. So far, there's only 3 games. So we've got New Super Mario Bros. Wii, Twilight Princess, and Metroid Prime. So I'm going to assume this is Metroid Prime 3 because that was the Prime 3 was an original Wii title. So these are coming to the nVidia Shield, and I wonder if this might lead the way for some Wii remakes, because the Switch is, for all intents and purposes, a modified nVidia Shield. It's powered by NVIDIA technology. It's running an Android OS. So this could be, who knows, we could see some Wii titles make their way to the Switch. But what do you guys think of Nintendo releasing games on a whole other platform? And do you think we could see this could be like the precursor to something bigger? Jay, let's start with you, because what do you think?
Okay, so I guess one thing that I didn't say in my introduction is I'm actually in the gaming industry. I'm a developer. I can't exactly talk about who I work for, but it's not Nintendo, that's all I'm gonna say. But from looking at the industry in general, we're actually seeing a bit of a shift. It started with the whole cross-play.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Rocket League and in Minecraft, I
Yep.
believe. Where basically gamers said, we've had enough, we want to play together, screw that we are on different consoles.
Exactly, yeah.
And so I guess what I'm saying is, I'm not gonna be surprised if Nintendo starts showing more games on, not just on phones, but on a few other consoles. If for anything is just even for marketing. Because from what we've seen is, if for example when you play Minecraft, for example on the Switch, Microsoft and Xbox suddenly have a leg in the Switch audience. So Nintendo might think about doing that in other consoles or on PC. I don't know how far they're gonna go into it. I don't think they're gonna like sacrifice a big exclusive by doing it on other consoles, but I don't see why they can't do remake.
Interesting. What about you, Captain? What about you, Logan?
So, as I understand it, this is actually kind of a thing that's been going on with China. China has very specific laws about things that are released in their country. So, for example, like World of Warcraft, there were some huge caveats that had to be made for World of Warcraft to be able to be brought over to China, and China is now one of its largest markets. So as far as I know, Nintendo's actually been doing this through third-party subsidiaries for quite a while, even back to the N64 days, when they had devices that would play Nintendo games, but on plug-and-play controllers, essentially cutting out the idea of having like an actual home console with different cartridges. And I guess the reasons for that kind of tie in with having to be supporting the Chinese government directly, either by employing people, building stuff, or there's some reasons why you have to have ties with the government to be able to release products in China. That's just kind of how they have things set up. I think Apple has the same issue where you have to have factories in China to be able to release iPhones in China legally. So the fact that these games are coming out on the nVidia Shield is great, because I think it's a better technology for the Chinese market to be able to play these games. Unfortunately, they are older games, but because they are running on a Tegra system, I think that it's going to be easy for them to show us that they can make this available through things like Virtual Console for the Switch. So I'm hopeful for what this means for Virtual Console. I don't think Nintendo is going to stray too much from staying kind of honed in on their own personal hardware in other markets.
What about you, Alex? What do you think?
I'm gonna be the pessimist here. I'm gonna agree with Captain Logan that this is probably most likely to get Nintendo into the Chinese market just because of the strict laws that they have over there. I don't know if it means anything more than that. I'm not taking it to mean anything more than that until we see evidence. We do know, like Jasmine said, I do think Nintendo's going to start making more games for the phone. Obviously, they said they have, but that's a mainstream product. I don't think that they're ever going to do more porting to other consoles unless they decide to change their mind. If this succeeds, it would be interesting to see if they introduce this concept into a more traditional market that they already have a set-in-place market with.
Well, I kind of said a little bit of kind of my opinions at the beginning. Yeah, I think this will be something we'll have to keep an eye on, especially now that it's easier to get more information. Thanks to the internet, it's easier to hear information faster and easier. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what comes out of this one.
Hello, Nintendo!
We've got it was one of the topics that hit the Nintendo subreddit. I'm not sure who it is that posted this, but there's a leaked EA article, post, document, which some people are taking to be real, that mentions a Nintendo Direct coming in January. And it was a couple years ago that Nintendo switched over to doing these directs every so often to release information, and it's been quite popular. Don't think we've got really too much information about what could be potentially in this direct, so it is speculation time. It's time to speculate. Alec, what do you think Nintendo might end up showing in this direct? Because it's gonna be 6 months out before E3. So what do you think we might see?
I'm definitely thinking more Kirby. I think Kirby could be the highlight of this, and that's a little bit of personal bias. Kirby Allies is my most looked forward to game of 2018. But it's also going to align with the release of Kirby... What's the Kirby game coming out for the 3DS? Kirby Battle Royale?
Sounds about right.
It's going to align with the release of that if they do a January Direct. It's the 25th anniversary of Kirby wrapping up, so I think Kirby's going to be really featured. I'm hoping for a release date around fall, late August maybe, and then probably Yoshi, maybe a little bit more Metroid Prime 4. And there's another rumor, I don't know if they touched on this in the leak, but Bandai Namco was supposedly the one behind Metroid Prime 4, which doesn't make sense to me. I don't think that's true. It'd be really interesting to see if that is what happens. But yeah, I'm hoping for more Kirby. Want to see some multiplayers in there. I don't think any more 3DS games. This is the end of the 3DS. But yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, and based off of a little bit of good speculation. But a lot of bias.
Yeah. Well, the last couple directs, haven't they focused on one specific game usually, haven't they? So you could very well be right in there. What do you think, Logan? What's kind of your speculation for this potential direct?
I think you're pretty much right, Alec, with the Kirby and Yoshi. I think that those are going to be the biggest ones that they're going to be pushing. We've seen the most information about them. If I wanted to see something specific, I would love to get a little more information, or even just like a hint that the Animal Crossing that they've stated is pretty much ready to go has finally been ported over for the Switch, and that we'll get a proper Animal Crossing on that.
Fingers crossed.
I would love yeah, I love that game, and I had a really good time with it, and I think that the Switch is a great system to be able to go anywhere and be able to check in anytime regardless for that game. But obviously I want to see Smash Brothers on there. I think the Brawl Out's a good thing to kind of tide people over if they really want to get a Smash experience and they don't have a Wii U right now. But I would like them to announce a release date, hopefully March or April, for Smash Brothers DX. And other than that, we know that they're not doing DLC for Zelda because they're working on the next one. I would like to see some DLC for Mario Odyssey, potentially like Delfino Island, so we can go and get some Mario Sunshine on. Other than that, I imagine we'll probably get a lot of Nindy announcements, maybe a release date for Wolfenstein 2, and a harder date on Bayonetta 3, hopefully.
Yeah. What about you, Jay? What kind of, if you had to speculate, if are in line with Alex and Logan, or what do you think the direct might entail?
To be honest, I feel like Kirby is probably gonna get some spotlight in there. Bayonetta is probably gonna get another spotlight, in case someone didn't notice the Game Awards announcement, which is very unlikely. I don't know if we're gonna see a lot of like new announcements, especially with us going into the new year and getting closer to E3. I would love to get more info about the Pokemon game, but I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. And also the Ace Attorney, I think is still early, so we're probably not gonna hear anything about it soon. So probably Kirby and Bayonetta.
I think you guys are right. Honestly, and it's kind of my fault for not kind of being off some social media a little bit, but kind of missed the Ace Attorney, and that was coming to Switch, because I too quite enjoy the Ace Attorney game, so I'm going to be all over that. But yeah, I think you guys are right. I think we'll probably definitely see some Kirby, especially because Alex said it's the 25th anniversary, and it makes sense. Also based on what we've seen with previous directs, where they seem to focus primarily on one specific game, and then toss a couple little things in there as well. So yeah, I think we should be seeing Kirby. I don't necessarily think we'll be seeing much about, say, Pokemon until at least E3. Because, don't forget, all we've had so far for both Pokemon and Metroid Prime 4 is just those tiny little, 30-second teasers. So I think E3 2018 is when we're going to actually see something, whether it's going to be a title or there's going to be like a bigger video or something that's going to get teased. And if I'm lucky, maybe we'll see them holiday of 2018, but...
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Pokemon usually do their own directs with like the Pokemon Company, and it just kind of gets its own thing for a big announcement? Isn't that what they did for Sun and Moon?
I think they did that, and that's when everybody was thinking that it was going to be for Pokemon Switch at the time. But yeah, I think you're right.
I was one of those with a very broken heart after it was done, so I remember quite clearly.
Hopefully they kind of redeem themselves with that little announcement at E3 though for you.
No. It was no. It was painful. So no, they're not gonna redeem themselves until I see more, and preferably have it in my hands. So.
Poor Jay. Oh, I'm hoping if they do announce Pokemon Switch, it's heavy on the good online. Same thing with Animal Crossing. I want to see heavy online. For that, so I'm actually really looking forward to Animal Crossing, because my kids, my oldest especially, she's really starting to read. She's getting more into video games. Animal Crossing is going to be an awesome game to play with my kids, I think. So.
If I could make an addendum to mine, I think we'll hopefully get some information about the online, what that's going to be, what it's going to entail.
Yes,
like they need to do something.
Actually, so there are a lot of, I guess, leaks going around in the industry. Last thing I've heard is the online is almost gonna like it should be announced soon, but I'm not sure like when that happens. So it's supposedly almost done. I'm really excited to hear what they're doing. So
well, anybody, if we're to believe anybody right now, it's going to be you because of your ties. So almost done. It should be soon. It should be soon. Yeah, I too. I mean, Nintendo's been teasing us for so long with online, like with their online platform, and I know I'm going to be paying for it. I'm going to pay for it, just like I do Xbox Live.
Hello, Nintendo!
So we're going to dive into our final topic for this episode, and Dan, and I think it was Frobro and I, we talked about this quite a while ago. I think Subwizzle was on that episode too, briefly. It has to do with Nintendo music. So Nintendo music is, I mean, Nintendo games have got some of the most iconic music ever. You can play just even a couple seconds of the original Super Mario Brothers theme from the first one, and almost everybody instantly recognizes that. Same thing with Legend of Zelda, Metroid, the whole bit. Like there've been some iconic songs, and it's only gotten better as the technology has improved. We've even got fully orchestrated soundtracks now in some games. My question for the three of you is your favorite Nintendo songs. What are some of your favorite Nintendo songs? Logan, let's start with you.
Hyrule Field, best one.
Yeah.
It's the one that always gets me excited, and the main Nintendo themes, like so many memories are attached to that song because of the story points and all the different games and the way they always play with my emotions and how things are happening. So if there's ever a game song that I like, if there was one USB stick on an island and just had to plug it into a little speaker and it ran on solar power and I had one song to choose, it would be that one. And I would be running around the island with a makeshift sword and shield, trying to attack anything that came at me.
Nice, yes. Especially the first time when you enter Hyrule Field and that song starts playing, it's just like... It's
empowering. It
is, yeah. It's perfect, yeah. What about you, Alec? What's a very favorite Nintendo song from you?
I'm probably gonna... There's so many, and I was thinking about this morning, because it actually lines up perfectly with an article I'm working on right now about the importance of music and video games, and I'm probably gonna have to go with a Zelda song. I don't know which one. Hyrule Field was my alarm tone for years, so that still, when I hear that, it still instills a little bit of panic at me that it's way too early in the morning. But I'm probably gonna go with The Great Sea from Wind Waker. Yep. That's one of the best songs. It's actually my alarm tone now, but it gets me up in the morning, and it's just that sense of adventure that it has, the unknown, but it also has that really cheery, like, you're not heading into a dreadful unknown, there's still a great adventure out there to explore, and it kind of captures the spirit of the open sea and just traveling everywhere, and I love to travel.
Nice. What about you, Jay?
Well, that's a very tough decision. I think, like, for me, it's a tie between Gerudo Valley, especially the Smash version, and Gusty Garden Galaxy from Mario Galaxy. They're both very, very close to my heart, and like I play Smash because of these two tracks, to be honest. So yeah, I can't pick between these two. They're both amazing, and their Smash versions were just like, they have me in tears every time they play. So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
There's a really good a cappella version, or a cappella cover, I should say, of Gerudo Valley. You should check it on YouTube. It's really well done. Really well done. I
didn't know that.
When I had my little online radio show, I would play it occasionally because I played all video game music. So for me, I don't know. So far we're 3 for 4 for Zelda. I would have to probably add a Zelda theme or Zelda song in there as well. I'm kind of thinking more of the NES Zelda games, just because that's where I got my start. Especially Zelda 2, the overworld theme. Really like that one. Some of the songs from the Metroid games are really good. I think the one that kind of really sticks with me is from Metroid Prime, the first one, when you land on the planet. Was it the Talon Overworld theme? And you emerge from Samus's ship, and you're just in an area. It's all foresty, and it's raining. And like, I just remember playing that and I just stood there and just kind of looked around, and you look up and you can see the rain is hitting your visor. You see the raindrops just hitting the visor, and that one is kind of probably up there towards the top. Especially it just instills a sense of awe and wonder about this new environment, and so that's mine. In fact, all the Metroid Prime trilogy, also all the songs there are great. And if you like those, if you like metal, look up Stemage. He's done some pretty awesome metal covers of the Prime trilogy soundtrack. They're really good. But for me, I don't know. I kind of covered a couple different songs there. It's hard to pick, but I think the Talon Overworld theme from Metroid Prime is probably my top one for me.
I'm definitely noticing that a lot of our songs kind of have the same line in them. It was all generally moments when we felt like something had we've just reached past the starter area, or we've gotten into a very expansive area, and it kind of instills this sense of adventure, and that's always kind of enthralling with games. That's the reason we play them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to kind of think about how a lot of these songs are ones that really kind of got you to the point where now you're excited because now the real game begins.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think that...
And to be honest, Nintendo has always been the one that really got that. Like, if you look at the other companies and you look at their games or their exclusive, I think Square Enix is kind of close, but Nintendo, like, as soon as, for example, Zelda started playing in the Game Awards, it was like, I was in tears. It was just, they know how to capture the emotions in their games very, very well in their music.
Well, if you ever see it come over to you, go and see the Hyrule Symphony Orchestra. If you ever get the chance, it's my wife and I went to go see it when it came to Edmonton, and it's great because they use the local orchestra and it's all Zelda music, and they've got the screen up on over top of the orchestra, and they play clips or trailers or whatever for whatever game they're playing. It's great. It's really good. I highly recommend going to check it out if you get a chance. Heck, any of those video game concerts. So live video game concert or video games live play, I think, is another one. Any of those ones, definitely go check them out if they come to town or you can get to them. Totally worth it. Totally worth it, because it takes the video game music and you throw a live orchestra behind it, and it makes them that much better. Highly recommend you check them out.
Definitely will.
Very cool.
Hello, Nintendo!
Well, that about wraps it up for this episode of Hello Nintendo. I'd like to thank my co-hosts for hanging out. Alex, thanks for coming back.
Thank you for having me back. I always enjoy it.
I love having you on the episode. And a big thank you again to Jasmine and Captain Logan for taking some time out of your days to hang out with us, especially right around the holidays.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah, it's awesome to be here.
Yeah.
So, Alec, where can we find, if people wanted to track you down online, outside of Reddit, is there anywhere else that you hang out? Where else do you do?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Haynes, Haynes _LWOS. And if you follow me there, you can also get the article, hopefully Christmas morning release, on music and video games. So that'll be a fun experiment if you want to read that.
Nice. Captain Logan, what about you? Where can people find you online?
You can find me at twitch.tv /CAPT_LOGUN, because I gotta be the weird guy about it. But yeah, pretty much anywhere at Capt Logan. That URL is good. But yeah, I usually stream Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, 6 p.m. Pacific time to 8 p.m. Pacific time. And I like to play a lot of Nintendo games, so come visit me. Tell me how bad I am. It's always welcome.
What about you, Jay? Where can people find you online?
Right now it's just Fanfic Radio. We're on YouTube, we're on Tumblr, we're on Twitter, everything just Fanfic Radio. If you go on any of those, usually I'm the one talking. So. Nice.
And you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/TrainAss, because I can't change my name there. I'm also on Twitter at ReggieFeesAmeme. I'm also on Reddit under the username of TrainAss. You can find me lurking on the Nintendo subreddit or modding the Xbox One sub and making everybody angry because I removed their threads. The life of a moderator. If I don't like you, your post gets removed. No, I'm kidding. And you can also hear my voice on a few Fanfic Radio audio dramas there, if you check those out.
You can easily find him in the episode. He's epic.
Oh, yes, I've done a couple. Yeah, a few of them there, so be sure to check it out. Especially check out our Christmas, the Christmas Carol one that we're going to be releasing. So it's going to be fun. The script is hilarious. It's really good. Be sure to tune in to our next episode where Brooks might finally get a question of, where's Melee HD? So we'll see you next time on Hello Nintendo.
Hello, Nintendo!